The road to WrestleMania can finally officially begin. And thank God, because did anybody care about this Fastlane pay-per-view coming into tonight? Road Dogg, what have you done with my beloved Smackdown? It used to be awesome and just amazing, and now it stinks. It really, really stinks. I mean, seriously, did anybody care about this pay-per-view coming in? But I still watched it. So, we complained, but we still watched the matches. All right. As for the card, I mean, the wrestling was fine, but just did anybody care? That's all. All right, so the six-pack challenge, let's start with that. Predictably, AJ Styles won the match, as you would expect. So the ending saw Cena went for an AA on Dolph Ziggler, and that was countered when Kevin Owens came into the ring, hit him with a pop-up powerbomb, and AJ Styles, who got AA through a table like 5 minutes earlier, he comes out of nowhere, comes into the ring, and hits the phenomenal forearm on Kevin Owens for the victory. So he wins the six-pack challenge. And, the start of this match was, I thought, kind of ridiculous because, I see what they were trying to do and what they were trying to accomplish. Because you had Cena and AJ Styles kind of start the match and had a little stare down. But to get to that stare down, Cena was just hitting AAs on everybody to start the damn match. And it just wound up looking really, really stupid. It made all the guys look like geeks. He hit one on Sami Zayn, hit one on Kevin Owens, Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin. These guys are just running onto Cena's shoulders, and the only one that didn't bite was AJ Styles. So that's how they got to stare down, and, AJ and Cena, they go one-on-one for about a couple minutes until everybody comes back into the ring, and everybody beats up Cena. So that was the start of it, and then, you had a lot of craziness after that. So we saw some storytelling with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Zayn, if you've been watching SmackDown, has been kind of telling Owens, well, I'm going to lay down in the middle of the ring. I'm going to let you pin me. And it reached the point where they did that. And Sami countered into a small package. And then, they just went after each other. And I'm hoping that this leads to a match between them at WrestleMania. I don't know if this is going to be something where they're swerving the audience, but to see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn go one-on-one at WrestleMania, I know we've seen that match hundreds of times, but we've never seen it at Mania. And I love it when those two go at it. So, I'd love to see that, but a lot of cool stuff between those two. They reached the point where they were along the ring apron. Kevin Owens was going for a power bomb. He got back body dropped onto the apron. Owens at one point went for a super kick on Zayn, and he kicked the shit out of Shane McMahon instead. So that led to Sami Zayn then doing his between the ropes DDT that he likes to do. And back inside the ring, Kevin Owens hits a pop-up powerbomb on Ziggler. Shane comes in to pull the ref out of the ring. And then Zayn hits a haluva kick on Owens, and then Shane pulls Zayn out. So we continue that storytelling between Owens and Zayn and Shane McMahon. No Daniel Bryan on the show tonight. So the ending, as I said, saw AJ Styles win it. And, it was a good match. Action-packed as you would expect a six-pack challenge to be. So it went about 20 minutes, and I gave it 4 stars. So there you go. So we'll start with the beginning of the show now. First match of the night was Shinsuke Nakamura against Rusev, and it was good stuff. They had a lot of rest holds the first 10 minutes, but the last 5 minutes or so was pretty good. So you had some good psychology going on in this match. Good psychology from the first 2 matches, Bobby Roode and Randy Orton. The second match as well. We'll get into that in a second. But near the end, we saw a lot of counters. Rusev went for a Machka kick and was countered with a chop to the throat. And then the Kinshasa was countered, and Nakamura was sent to the ropes and then rolled up. Nakamura countered the accolade when he went behind him and, rolled through the back, and then off the ropes hit the Kinshasa to the back of the neck. And then he went to the corner, and he hit the Kinshasa again, and that's how he got the 3 count. So a solid opener. I gave it about 3 stars, so 15-minute match. So good stuff to start the show, and as you would expect, Nakamura, this is a way to give him some steam heading into WrestleMania. And hopefully they've kind of revived him a little bit because, man, I'll tell you what, when he lost at SummerSlam to Jinder Mahal, it just killed his momentum. And it's taken a while to kind of get him back to where he was because there was so much intrigue with Shinsuke when he debuted on SmackDown. And then instead of calling him the King of Strong Style, they called him the Artist, which I thought was kind of stupid. He's the King of Strong Style. That's what he should be called. And then they paired him up against Jinder Mahal. He loses a couple matches. Mahal wins with the stupid Singh brothers with, every finish went like that where Singh brothers would interfere, and then that would lead to Mahal eventually winning the match, whatever. Freaking Mahal. That title reign just completely sucked the life out of SmackDown. It really did. But, they had Shinsuke win the Royal Rumble, obviously. And the way he won that match has kind of resurrected him once again. Bobby Roode and Randy Orton was the second match of the night. They went at it for a while. I think they gave him like 20 minutes. And this was like a pure wrestling match. Now, it sounded like the crowd was a little dead during it, but if you're into ring psychology, you would have liked this stuff. I mean, even to start the match, the way both wrestlers were kind of selling their shoulders and the way they were shaking out their arms. It was a psychology-based match. It wasn't one of those spot fests that a lot of modern fans like to watch. So you had both wrestlers, going back and forth. Randy Orton had this stiff elbow following a leapfrog that I thought was pretty good. We saw Bobby Roode sell the ribs throughout the match, and this came into play because earlier, about 5 minutes into the match, Orton hit a suplex into the rope, so he trapped him on top. And when Roode went to go for a suplex, he couldn't suplex him because his ribs were hurting. So he was selling the ribs, and Orton counters with a suplex of his own. So we had a lot of basic maneuvers in this match, but it was very psychologically based, and it was good stuff. We had a cool sequence, which led to Orton's second rope DDT. I believe Roode was going for a kick or something, or was it Orton that kicked him? So they were on the ring on top of the ropes, if I remember. And yeah, actually, I forget what happened, but it was a cool sequence from what I remember. Orton hit a back suplex on the top of the barricade. There was also a point where Roode hit a sunset flip powerbomb after countering a top rope suplex, but Orton wound up hitting this later on in the match. And I'll tell you what, nobody does the superplex better right now than Randy Orton. The height that he gets on this thing. I mean, he's 6'4", 6'5" as it is, but the way he gets him, extended in the air, really, really good stuff. The finish saw Roode leap from the second rope right into an RKO, and Randy Orton is the U.S. title winner. So I guess they're going to go with Roode, Orton, and Mahal at WrestleMania, a little triple threat action. Hopefully not, but I think that's where they're going. So I gave this match 3.5 stars. So this was probably the second best match of the night. I liked the match. I don't know if everyone else is going to like this match, but I enjoyed it. Carmella and Natalya versus Naomi and Becky Lynch. Who cares? Next. Usos versus New Day for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. So in this match, we saw each team try to kind of mimic the other team's moveset. So New Day was Usos were stealing New Day's moves. And we saw the New Day kicks in the corner. We saw boom drops. They did the Midnight Hour. So I don't remember if it was Jay or Jimmy, but one of them attempted a Trouble in Paradise. So we had that, and then on the other side, the New Day were stealing the Uso moves. Woods was hitting super kicks. They had the Uso splash by Kofi. They went for the double Us, but that was countered. So they went back and forth for a little bit, and then the Bludgeon Brothers came out for the disqualification, which was met with boos. So it was good action for 10 minutes until the Bludgeon Brothers came out, and Bludgeon Brothers went and just annihilated both teams, and Woods was stretchered out, and they left a trail of destruction. So I guess they're going triple threat at Mania with these three teams. Cool. All right, Charlotte versus Ruby Riott, all right, for the SmackDown Women's title. Now, the problem with this match was the predictability of it, because we knew Charlotte and Asuka are going to fight each other at WrestleMania. And we saw Asuka come out after the match and, do the sign pointing. They should have done this match 2 to 3 months ago when Ruby Riott debuted, because nobody in the building cared. Nobody cared about this match. And for a women's match, this was pretty good stuff. It wasn't that bad. Now, there was a botch at one point that I remember, but, these two women were going after it, man. I mean, there was Riott had a sleeper on Charlotte near the beginning, and she held on as Charlotte tried to kind of counter, and they both went to the floor. Riott did this like cannonball move from the second rope, where she kind of like the falling star that Cody Rhodes used to do, but she did it from the second rope. And she tried to do it another time and actually got countered with some knees. Charlotte hit a slingshot suplex. There was another point in the match where Riott tried a suicide dive. Charlotte Carter and hit a T-bone suplex into the barricade. And then she did a moonsault off the top of the barricade. So that was pretty cool. Riott did a Frankensteiner off the top rope. She also countered a figure eight into an inside cradle. But near the end, Flair was able to hit a spear, and then that led to a figure eight for the submission. So I enjoyed this match for what it was. I mean, we knew who was going to win, but both ladies they can wrestle a little bit, and it was pretty good stuff for 13 minutes worth of action. So I gave it 3 stars. I don't know if anyone else is going to rate it as high as I did, but I like what they brought to the table. They didn't do this match at the right time because it was just so predictable, and they should have given Riott this match 2 months ago, because it wouldn't have been as predictable. I think the fans would have been into it a little bit more, invested a little bit more. And at the end of the day, Charlotte wins, but nobody in the arena gave a shit. And then at the end of the match, Asuka comes out. She points at the sign. We got Charlotte and Asuka at WrestleMania, and that's going to be awesome. So there you go. So that's it. It was a 6-match show. That's it for this video. So I'm out of here. I'm Adrian Fedke. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. And, finally, we're on the WrestleMania, because the road to Fastlane was shit. Maybe the road to WrestleMania will be a little bit better.